Hey everybody, Jimmy with the Triple C Collective here on this Wicked Wednesday. This is our last Wicked Wednesday of 2021, so I thought no better way to end Wicked Wednesday than with a review of the comic series Wrapped Up. Wrapped Up was originally published under Lion Forge under their Clubhouse banner from October 2017 till August 2018. It ran 10 wonderful individual issues that were then collected into two trade paperbacks or two volumes. Volume 1 consists of issues 1 through 5. Volume 2 consists of issues 6 through 10. Wrapped Up is written by Dave Scheidt with the art by Scoot McMahon and the colors by Sean Dove. This is a great Halloween spooky time story. It's an all ages tale of Milo and his family adventures. Milo is a mummy. His dad is a mummy. His mom is a mummy. He has a wizard as a next door neighbor. He has a human sister, and he has a human stepfather. And they meet all kinds of different crazy wonky characters and creatures. They meet a pizza night, they meet some kaijus, they meet some sasquatches, they meet witches, they make a prison break and everything. This story has Wrapped Up has a little bit of everything wrapped up into it. It has a lot of heart, like I've said. It is a wonderful all ages story, and the first issue, Night of the Pizza Night, is wonderful. Milo is a pizza-loving skateboarding kid who just wants to have pizza at every single meal, and who can blame him? I get it. I've been there, Milo. I've been you. And so his wizard neighbor, Wizard Man, grants him eternal pizza for every meal. However, when you do that, there's always a negative to it, and all other food is gone. This summons the pizza night with his trusty steed, Papa Domino. And the pizza night explains that what they have done is gotten rid of all food, so sends him on a quest to go find the enchanted pepperoni to save the world and bring back all food to life as we know it. And so Milo and Wizard Man, they go on this adventure, going to all the different pizza shops in their town, trying to find this enchanted pizza. Finally, in their last ditch effort, they go to the last pizza joint, and that is Nice Slice. Unfortunately, Wizard Man has treated the Nice Slice pizza worker pretty cruddily over the course of this story. And the pizza worker is looking to get his revenge by not helping them, by not giving them this enchanted pizza that is hanging in its little break-proof glass on the wall there. It's really awesome. And so Milo is able to win over the pizza worker by giving the pizza worker Milo or Jim Mummy's credit card to pay the bill. They do that. Milo and the Wizard Man come back with the enchanted pepperoni, and they make everything right, except for the pizza worker who goes to use the card at the end and is declined due to insufficient funds. And that's how the first story ends, and it's really great. It's really sweet. One thing that I want to talk about in just Wrapped Up in the entire series that you don't see too often is that they also give you a backup story. So Dave, aside from just writing the main story that we saw, for the 10 issues and into the volumes, he also gave us awesome backup stories that also introduce other characters and stuff. Like in this first main story, we don't really see Mrs. Mummy, and we don't see Jill or Henry. But in the backup story, we do meet Jill. We find out that she works at the zoo. And then that kind of continues on throughout the rest of the series, and it works really well because the main story is really meant to be like Dave does a really good job, I'm sure, along with like insight from like Scoot or Sean even, that in like forming and making the story what it is that they do a really good job of making the main story the best story or the funniest part or the most important. But I don't want to downplay the backup stories either because they are equally as funny and they actually have interchanging artists. So it's really interesting to see what these new artists decide to take on these words that has already been established by Dave and Scoot. So it's really great. It's a really great mix. You get a bunch of new artists in here. You see a wonderful formed story that then as it gets on, they just like they give you little bits. Dave gives you little bits of other geekdom, fandom, nerddom, whatever you want to call it. They give you little bit. He gives you little bits in this in his story, whether it's the main story or the backup story. It doesn't matter. It's all just wonderful, and I can't say enough of if you have if you I'm a father now. My daughter is just under 2 years old, so stories like Wrapped Up are perfect for her. She would love to be able to look at the like. Let me take a little bit of flip through some pages here. They are wonderful artwork. The colors are great, and it's really vibrant and just excellent, awesome stuff. This is some of the art from the backup story from issue 1. I mean, even the wraparound cover here that we get is wonderful as well. Like, all of it is great, and I just can't talk enough about how sweet and wonderful and amazing this series really is. And I mean, this came in to my life 4 years ago when it was first released, and it is so funny too. Like it is an incredibly funny comic series. The art is just dynamic. It hits on all cylinders for you, and one of my favorite things is what happens in the third issue. And when I was saying that Dave gives you little bits of like nerdom or fandom from other things, I personally first saw it with his third issue here. The third issue is called Killer Cats and Mummy Raps. And the cover here, done by Scoot. Awesome. What happens here is that in that one, Milo's neighbor, Wizard Man, gets all the neighborhood cats, all the city cats mad at him. And they basically all team up against Wizard Man and Milo. And all of the cats then form together and bunch together, sort of like the Voltron cats, a big cat monster. It draws so many parallels. I don't know if Dave really meant like Voltron or just kind of giving the idea. It could work for Power Rangers and the Megazords too, if that's what comes to mind for you. But for me specifically, with cats being the animals and Voltron cats being cats and everything, I just thought Voltron. And so this is even like one of those things that like I don't know. It was great just seeing that put into this story and into like giving this life, and I just loved it. The next issue, not saying that, so like I'm only gonna highlight some of the issues here individually, because I want to leave some in speculation for you after this for you guys to go find it. Maybe the ones I talk about are the ones that you guys love most from this. Maybe there are other ones that you're like, no man, you should have mentioned this one in the review because I think this one's great. Talk to me about it afterwards. Go out there, read this stuff, check it out for yourselves. Let me know if you think I'm wrong or if I'm crazy on this. But I love this stuff. I love it all, and it is great stuff. It is so much fun to read, and the art, again, it's all dynamic. It's great. The next one that I want to highlight, though, is issue number 5. This is the last, volume 1, number 5. This is the last issue for the first volume. And it is, I want to highlight this beginning. It opens in a baby factory, or not a baby factory, sorry, in a toy factory with a baby. And there are two piles. There is safe, or haunted and safe. And the haunted baby crawls over to the safe pile, and then we get the night of the creepy key pie. And I just love it. This was a really great issue. In general, you get a really great expansion of like the world. You see where Mrs. Mummy works, Milo's mom at the library, which is a really great thing. Because I don't think libraries are really highlighted. Just a side note here, I think libraries are highlighted enough. They're a really great resource for people, for kids to like be entertained with the world of books and stuff. Support your local libraries. They're great. They're great. Go check those things out. It might be a little bit difficult due to the pandemic and stuff, but I feel like if like the world's opening up a little bit more, that might be a little bit easier for you. But yeah, go check out the library, because I know if you want to get wrapped up, if you want to go check it out, I'm sure it's at your local library. But anyhow, then moving on, I'm gonna jump into issue number 6 of, so this would be the first issue of volume 2, right here. And this one is a camping tale with Sasquatches, Bigfoot. And this issue in particular has one of like the funniest or most real moments that I think I've ever really like read on a comic page, and that is where Mrs. Mummy and Mrs. Sasquatch, or the mother Sasquatch, they're both yelling at their husbands and their kids doing the wrong things. Like they're all fighting and like attacking each other and stuff. And they're and like the mothers are shaking their fingers at them. Don't you do this. You leave them alone and stuff. And it was just, it's just such a real thing that I know that I've experienced in my own life. So I have really enjoyed that. That just felt like a really great moment. And of course, who doesn't like a good Bigfoot Sasquatch story? And it actually has like a really great joke in there too. You know, what's Sasquatch? What's Bigfoot's favorite song? Don't Stop Believing. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. And then the next, one of the other things, again, of like little droplets of previous like fandom or other nerdom that we get in this. And what we get is issue number 7. It's called Deadliest Warrior. And, we get Mortal Kombat! Doom, 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 doom. This is like a Mortal Kombat story, a little bit. And it's great because they do such a great job of like depicting it and making it work. Like Dave does a great job in it, and I love it. This is one of my favorite like individual issues that they had from this one, is this number 7, because it's so funny in the fact that Jim is like, we get our first like flashback in here of like Jim being an ancient warrior, being trained to be Earth's warrior in a coming soon tournament battle. And then many years go by, and we get to where Jim Mummy is currently in the story, and he gets summoned by a magic scroll. He goes off. Milo and Wizard Man join him or follow him secretly because they are very worried about Jim. And then you find out that Jim Mummy is a secret martial artist who is great, who is awesome at it, and he wins the tournament and he protects like Earth's honor. It's wonderful. It's so much fun, and it was a blast reading this and having that wonderful like having just realizing what I was seeing there with the just the taking Mortal Kombat, which would be considered more adult, mature themed things, and working it into a thing for kids, and but making it work and having it be awesome. It was so good. It's one of my favorite ones. I also want to highlight now in issue 8, the backup story here. We get a little bit of like some Star Wars and Indiana Jones feeling here from this backup story. And I just want to say I love it. Again, I just wanted to highlight another awesome thing that they do, that Dave and Scoot and Sean did in crafting this wonderful story and putting it all together for us, us readers and stuff. It's really great. It's really wonderful. Finally, the final issue, number 10. So volume 2, number 5 of volume 2. This is the last issue that they released, and this one brings back everybody. Any of the baddies, any of the other characters, villains, and stuff that we saw before all come back here while the family is vacationing, while Milo and his dad and Mrs. Mummy and Henry and Jill are all together vacationing, which is vacationing on an island, which is also really great in the fact that, like, I love the family dynamic in here because Jim Mummy and Mrs. Mummy are divorced. Milo and Jim live together next to Wizard Man, and then Mrs. Mummy, Jill, and Henry all live together. And this story, throughout the story, we are shown by Dave this different but very normalized family dynamic of these people working together, living together, vacationing, all to just have a good time together as like family. And it's something that I really love to see as, a father myself, having my own family. It's really nice seeing that, like, you can make it work and that it's really great. I love it. I love the family dynamic that they show throughout this whole story. It truly is wonderful. But back to the final issue, everybody shows up, and it's a final free-for-all where we have rips in reality, and everybody's getting sucked in and stuff. Eventually, that rip is sealed up, and it is revealed that the reason all the baddies and all of these previous villains that we had seen had been here is because they are vacationing on Monster Island, and that is where all of the baddies, the villains, the previous characters that we had seen that we had seen in each individual had all gone to after their story. And it is just it was again another beautiful way to wrap up this story. It's called Wrapped Up for a reason, and it's not just about a family of mummies. That is all I really have to say about those 10 issues. I love this. It was really great reading it. It was beautiful reading it. It is so kind and sweet. It really is all ages. Like, I know they made this specifically for kids, but as myself, as a 30-year-old, I love it. It's great. Finally, you can, again, find Dave at Dave Scheidt on Twitter and Instagram. You can find Scoot at Scoot Comics on Twitter and Instagram. For Sean Dove, you can find Sean at And Thank You on Twitter and Instagram. Dave currently has out another kid lit graphic novel called Mayor Goodboy that he actually worked on with Miranda Harmon, who actually did the backup art to issue 3 of Wrapped Up, as I'm pulling it up here. So Dave and Miranda worked together on this backup story of issue 3 of Wrapped Up, and then they teamed up for Mayor Goodboy. Mayor Goodboy book 1 is out now currently. You can get it from Random House Books. You can get it from Amazon, local bookstore, anywhere. Scoot, check out Scoot's website for all of his stuff. Sean, you might have even recognized Sean Dove's work even previous to this if you guys follow Rick and Morty. Sean got to work on some of the promotional work for the McDonald's Szechuan sauce release that McDonald's did kind of not really in association with Rick and Morty, but they did. They used the art, whatever. I don't know how that all that worked, but Sean worked on that promotional art, and so go check it out. If you haven't seen it, go check out their Twitter. Check out Dave. Go check out their works. It's awesome. But probably one of the most exciting things, and another reason why I decided to do this review now, is that just back in late September, early October, Dave and Scoot announced that they're getting the band back together, and they're working on a new project that will be released in April 2022. And it is called Agents of Slam. And it is a wrestling story that follows a young lady, and I'm super excited about it. I forgot most of the details other than it's releasing in April of 2022. Go to your local comic book shops, go to your local bookstores, pre-order it now if you'd like. And yeah, this is all I have now. I'm going to wrap up my review of Wrapped Up on Wicked Wednesday. Thank you all for joining me.